talked about shoe wear patterns. We talked about shoe wear patterns. All right. We also talked about foot patterns. And that if you don't take care of your feet, you're in trouble. Football, baseball, basketball, track, whatever it is, you're in trouble. So look at the bottom of their foot for the footwear. Now, this is new. All right, calcaneal epiphysitis. What do we know right now? Calcaneal epiphysitis. The suffix of this should tell us something. Huh? Suffix. Shoes. Calcaneal epiphysitis. Oh yeah, we got some information. It's also known as Sever's disease. Not really a disease; it's more of a condition. Disease is not like Osgood-Schlatters disease. It's not a disease. All right. So you have pain over the posterior heel below the attachment of the Achilles tendon, and it's usually a child or adolescent. We see this at least 3 or 4 times a year, and it's a junior high kid that's coming over, and they hurt right on their heel. All right? Have we heard of Osgood-Schlatters? Hadn't heard of it yet. See those people who have the really big tibial tuberosity right there, where that bone is a little more protruding than like normal, but it's a condition to where the bone is reacting to weight training, athletics, and at the same time, it's trying to solidify that bone. So you get to a point to where you pull on it at the growth plate through your Achilles tendon, and that growth plate says, "You know what? I'm mad. You need to start slowing down. I just want to try and chill, get hard on this growth plate, and solidify." Okay. Well, they come in, and we put them in heel cups. We put them tell them to at that rice and to stretch, and some Advil will help. But eventually, if you just take them off of what they're doing, of course they're going to get better. But then have them slowly work in. And you see it like a lot more when somebody's like in track and trying to do weight training. So you can get a heel contusion most likely by a sudden start and stop in sports or jumping. These heel contusions are painful. Get kicked in the heel when you're playing soccer or football. Get hit in the heel when you're trying to cover a base when somebody's sliding in with their spike. Severe pain in the heel and unable to withstand the stress of weight bearing. So get them off of that. Let's get some anti-inflammatories and get some rice going and protect it with a heel cup or a donut pad. It usually happens on the bottom of their heel, okay? But you can get these heel bruises or contusions on the sides of them too from getting hit. I had a soccer player in here, I think, a week ago who got kicked in the heel, and he said, "Golly, it hurt." Yeah, but 2 or 3 days later, he was doing all right. All right, now here's our longitudinal arch. All right, we got a bunch of arches in the foot. Which one's that longitudinal one? Yeah, it's on the inside, the medial. Goes from the sesamoid bone all the way back. So, caused by subjecting the musculature of the foot to an increased stress produced by repetitive contact with hard surfaces. What does that sound like? What sports is that going to be? Track and basketball, soccer, could be if you're on hard pan like what we have. Hard pan is just really hard dirt. Football, baseball is not so much. Hopefully they're not playing on hard pan. But have you ever watched the movie The Rookie? Their baseball field was terrible until they finally put somebody's haircut and stuff out in the yard. Remember? No, no one ever saw that? Wow. As a rule, pain is experienced only during running and jumping. Why is that? Huh? Yeah, it's coming down and being pushed on it. And more so with running and jumping than with just walking. So your immediate care consists of using some rice, followed by some appropriate therapy and reduction of weight bearing, and do an arch tape. Who knows how to tape an arch? Good. Because when you are proficient with your ankle taping, which I don't know that anybody's gotten their proficiency done, she has. So let's get those done. You will want to tape an arch. On this, you'll see that you put on the pre-wrap first, or not, no, not the pre-wrap, the QDA, because you don't want to use pre-wrap on this. And you make little teardrops. You think?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes. Oh, okay. So, speaking of ankle wrapping, the lady on away girl soccer game, she had to wrap a varsity player's ankle, and I don't know the way she did it. You know, when people are lost, I think like do it separately. She did it like all at once.
When when uh, when this isn't on, and in a public forum, I will explain to you that. The guy up in Wiley, that's not here. Huh? What? Who's got a small shirt? He got a big belly. All right. So the first thing that we did was go around the heel, and then we put our longitudinal strips on, and now we need to cover up, and we go from heel to toe, because when we go heel to toe, when they put their sock on, it helps keep it from rolling. All right. So what does the foot do when it steps off the table? It widens and it gets longer. And so this helps the getting longer from happening. If we keep it from getting longer, the arch stays there. Otherwise, when we step down, the arch comes out like so. So that's why it's important that we don't use pre-wrap, because we don't want it to slip at all. All right? Not very difficult. You always make sure that you keep your tape taut as you're putting it on, and you'll get it done just fine. Jones fracture. So, we had a Jones fracture. I think we had one last year, didn't we? So, Jones fracture, they're fun. It may occur on any of the metatarsals and can be caused by inversion and plantar flexion of the foot, or by direct force, such as being stepped on by another player, or by repetitive stress. You can see this a lot, repetitive stress fractures in this spot in basketball. By far, the most common acute fracture is to the diaphysis of at the at the base of the fifth metatarsal. Where's that foot? Thought I had it. Oh, there it is. So this is the right foot. So right here on the fifth metatarsal. Okay, girls, you can remember that. It's a nice little pressure point right there. You can push really hard on it. Did that hurt? It didn't hurt. But if she does it, it might. That point right there. See where it's sticking out? Right there?
The part that sticks out?
Yeah. So right in front of it is the growth plate, and it gets a break in it. The thing about it, though, is that it's about a 50-50 shot. Last football season, remember that guy, number 88, Des Bryant, plays for the Cowboys? And he was out because of his foot. He was out because of this foot having a Jones fracture. Now, he was gone for, golly, at least 8 or 9 weeks, wasn't he? Didn't play? So it takes time. You got a 50-50 shot as it healing. All right. So what do you want to do? You got a multi-million-dollar pro athlete who has a 50% shot of it healing or not healing. And if it doesn't heal, you put a screw in it. Right? So I've got this guy here. And the first thing you do when you got a pro athlete is say, hey, let's raise this up to it's going to heal. And let's just go ahead and put the screw in it. That's what you see when you're talking about pros. We don't work with pros. And if we can keep the family from having to spend $10,000 to put a screw in someone's foot, we're going to keep them from paying $10,000 from putting a screw in someone's foot. Okay? So, characterized by immediate swelling and pain over the fifth metatarsal head, the healing is slow and frustrating, and the injury has a high non-union rate. Non-union means it's not going to stick back together. Okay? And the course of healing is very unpredictable. So here's where you find it. It's circled, just where we were showing you, of your Jones fracture. So your treatment. Obviously, we're going to. It appears that the crutches or use of crutches and no immobilization. No, we're going to immobilize it. I'm thinking that we need to put them in a boot. If at worst, just a cast shoe. Okay, and a cast shoe is those nasty shoes that have got a really hard sole and they Velcro on, and you know what grandma would wear after she got a bunion fixed, right? No, it's just a shoe, and it's just sole. That's all it is, and then the top comes over and Velcros on. Yes, they're little block shoes, but they keep you from bending your feet up, so that helps. Now, a boot is good, but best thing is try and keep them off, and it's going to take 6 weeks. If a non-union occurs, then you need what's internal fixation, which means it's inside, and we're fixing it. So we're going to put a pin or a screw through there, and then you got to wait for it to settle down. So if you're a pro, you're going to get it done. If you're a college student at a D2 school, sorry, somebody's going to have to step up. All right? If you're a high school kid, absolutely, we're going to wait to see whether or not this heals. We hope it will heal. So they're going to have to keep coming back and get an x-ray to see how well is that going to actually stick together and heal. Jones fracture. All right. Sesamoid itis, meaning something's swollen, isn't it? Yeah. Well, it's your sesamoid bone right here. All right. So the tissue around that sesamoid bone is not the sesamoid bone itself, but the tissue around the sesamoid bone. It gets swollen and it's irritating and it hurts. And when you hear athletes and they have something hurt, they get whiny, especially if it's on their feet. So, caused by repetitive hyperextension of the great toe, that eventually results in inflammation. And the most common is in dancing and in basketball. Probably see it in jumpers in track. And then they complain of pain under the great toe, especially during the push-off. And the tenderness is palpable under the first metatarsal, meaning that if I go here and push,
Mine hurts.
Yes.
No, like mine hurts all
So
the
we can see
time.
her foot since she's got these. So you push right on there, and you'll light them up. So you can treat with a variety of orthotic devices. Now these are not going to be orthotic devices that cover the entire foot. I like cutting out what looks like a lima bean, sort of, kind of. It's a great big C, and it goes next to the sesamoid bone, not on it. And then that way the pressure is around the sesamoid bone and the tissue that connects to it, but it's not on it. Well, yeah, you can use something like that. Use a felt donut. Um, but anyways, a piece of felt can be cut out to relieve the pressure from the sesamoid. And I promise you, it works. Turf toe. You know, There was turf toe before there was turf. You know that? Yes, really. But with the invention of astroturf or artificial surface, it became more prominent. So they started calling it turf toe. A hyperextension injury resulting in a sprain of the metatarsal phalangeal joint. Here's the metatarsal and the phalange. So it's right there. So on your great toe, you sprain this. Most often on synthetic turf, but it can occur on grass. And often because turf shoes are more flexible and allow more dorsiflexion to the great toe, that you get this. There was another guy that played for the Cowboys that had an off season. This is many years ago, but you probably know him. A guy named Dion. You ever hearing him? You said no. Oh goodness! I hope Dion doesn't see our videos because he might come down just to meet y'all. But Dion had turf toe, and he actually had to have surgery to repair it. So these are not injuries that you want to just blow them off and say, "Oh, it's just your toe." But remember, if you got bad feet, you can't take it. You're not going to be good in athletics. So most often the synthetic turf, and you get hyperextension. Significant pain and swelling in and around the metatarsal phalangeal joint of the great toe, and the pain is felt when the athlete tries to push off. All right, steel toe inserts. Have y'all seen those? Put them on the inside of your shoes. You take out your regular steelies, your regular little cushions in there, and you can put these in. And they come in two different types. They go the whole foot or just half a foot. All right. So that's all it is. See? But on the bottom of it, it's got a piece of steel. And so obviously if I've got that in there and I'm stepping on it, and so the farther down I go, the harder it is to bend, well, that keeps me from being able to bend or hyperextend that joint. So you can put those in there. And then you can also do it with taping. Now, if you use a combination of the both, it's probably going to heal faster. So taping the great toe to limit dorsiflexion can be done to help with the steel toe inserts or by itself. All right. So we're going to review for 2 days. 2 days.